Nami in a bikini. It's pretty cool how a couple of quick statements is all it takes to set the scene. This is just prior to our visit to the Grand Line at episode 61. They're relaxing after Logtown. Checks out. Also, just a quick reminder, this was voted in over on Patreon. All filler arcs, all movies will all go to a poll as I start getting close to them in the timeline. Make your voice heard using the link in the description, and at the same time help the channel out massively. A movie not running on the spot, so it's even smoother than normal. That series of reactions. Also, they're giving us a nice overhead view of the entire area where they're currently relaxing. It's very much a personal win of mine, but I've always enjoyed seeing characters changing their clothing. I guess it always makes it feel less like a cartoon and more of an anime to me. You know, it's not canon and all, but I find myself having a soft spot for the movies, so long as the quality is high and it's not widely regarded as a disaster for whatever reason, because the animation is superb. Ikalgo from Hunter x Hunter, one of my favourite characters, and he does such an amazing job voicing him. He also does Goto the butler with the coin skills, and less well known, the koala. Rickert from the original Berserk anime. Nami looking pure adorable in that wedding dress. He thinks they're gonna do it with this ship, become the best pirates in the world, but also those reactions. I said it during the last part 9, Luffy has amazing reactions alongside Usopp. This is totally what happens when you've got two cool guy characters in your crew, and I love it. I find myself in total agreement with Sanji once again. We're of one mind, he and I. Also, though, I won't risk showing it, but a tad bit of butte on display, if you feel me. I keep on saying it during the main series, and it exists in this movie all the same. I adore Luffy and his laid-back personality. He really does believe everyone should one day know he'll be the Pirate King. Yes, it's a movie, and yes, the budget is a lot bigger, but I can't ignore all those extras popping up. All had to be done by hand, a lot of them moving about afterwards. Heck yes! That's how you can tell it's got some of them movie dollars, or yen, is that they rotate them through the shot. That's not some mainline stuff we get blessed with very often. It's hard work. If I had to guess, I'd wager that the crew who do the main series destruction animation so damn well is present and accounted for in this movie's production. Exact same skill on display. Yes, it doesn't quite fit in with his newfound revelations from his meeting with Danny Masterson in episode 52 or 53, but it doesn't stop it from being a hilariously named and enacted plan. I feel like it's quite clever to extract Nami from the story if you can't quite find a great avenue by which she can shine in her own right. Also though, that animation, goodness me, is a thing of beauty, especially at the end as they float towards the screen there. Without even skipping a single beat, your boy Sanji is immediately diving down to save him. Done it twice now already, what's a third time? It's a sweet scene getting to see their origin story, but I really also liked how they appropriately de-aged him. A lot younger looking in the face and size of his body too. I liked that quick reply from him in regards to them not being real brothers. Also, how he was the first one in the water to get his music box back, since he knows how much it means to him. That was sweet too. This for me is where non-canon can be done quite well, because it can naturally link into Luffy's past and his own feelings in the same vein as what he's speaking about. Well now, that's certainly unique as far as sights go. That's awesome. For the year, that's some real good CGI mixed into the background there under hand-done animation. Shockingly Mihawk from the main series. Super personal win, but my god, if you give this guy large front teeth and bigger ears, he's a spitting image for one of the Chimera ants from Hunter x Hunter. Two cool guys and Luffy doing cool guy stuff with Luffy doing Luffy stuff like being excited. Not running on the spot and then actually running on the spot and then finally not swimming on the spot. Sanji legit being awesome there. I loved how they didn't just cut to the attack each time, but instead showed him at a distance taking out the last ones. That was brilliant dedication. No joking around this time, like win number 31, that's some serious, again, dedication to their animation craft. To have them running through the scene like that, and at such a high quality no less. Great looking city scenery shot. Also though, how they continued the trend from the main series of having housing look so different and varied depending on where you are in the world. It's a small thing and obviously it does make total sense, but I liked seeing how Usopp is wearing the goggles gifted to him after his failed duel versus Daddy Masterson by his daughter. If I praised different clothing being worn at the start of the movie, which I did, then I very much have to do it again here. Zoro having a very clear scar on his chest from the wound fighting Mihawk is good to see. You know that it didn't just heal up magically and disappear. Also take one here for very much making this an actual town. This lady is running a business, it's not just a town in name only. I should be focusing on other stuff really, but that blonde woman needed one more. That's insane. On top of all of the animated running, what really did it for me was Usopp picking up the kid. Just reminded me of the kind of stuff he probably did for the Usopp Pirates back in the day. Oh, small but all the same interesting plot twist. I have no idea what art style they used to alter from the norm to that, but it was impressive nonetheless. Putting so many frames into a very happy Luffy is a joy to witness, as it's obviously naturally quite rare. Honest to God, it seemed like I felt that. That was horrible, and I was actually wincing, man. Well, they really didn't hesitate when it comes to the... I struggle to call it gore, but you know what I mean. They weren't exactly hiding much, were they? Now that is more akin to the mind frame that Usopp should be in at this point in his personal story. This is going back to the mention of his duel versus Masterson I mentioned earlier. Those damage effects, but also the people running after him, it must be CGI, but for the year, would they have used CGI looking that good? I don't know, it can't be hand done, surely. Zoro continuing to look like a complete and utter badass. Even though nothing has happened between them romance speaking, it's nice to see his feelings here with that pushed aside. He just didn't want to let her down and wanted to be the one to save her. I'll avoid directly showing it, but let's just say, they didn't exactly try to hide the fact that Zoro is using a blade and, yeah, he's using it, like stabbies and slashies and everything. Right now, and I've thought this for a little while from the main series, Luffy and Zoro have quite a unique relationship. He really does care for Luffy as his captain and it shows and is funny. A prime example really of Usopp's bravery, especially since he isn't armed here, and so is essentially just an average dude compared to Zoro and Sanji and Luffy, but still he does this. Really nicely added touch that he naturally doesn't want to anger his boss by hurting her, so he grabs her, but then supports the back of her head so she doesn't get hurt. Not running on the spot on the staircase, but again, Zoro totally using his sword. He's straight up ending people like it's no big deal. I'm sorry, that's just way too good. I had to show you that in all its glory, I really did. It's so smooth too, it's like warm butter that's been left in the microwave too long. Mine sounds soppy initially, but given the comments about them being brothers earlier on, it does serve to make this moment much more impactful than it otherwise would have been. Oh no, that's a great twist that I hadn't expected. Well played. That's also another good plot point to them as characters, that he wanted him to be able to return home, showing he cares more about his future well-being than he does being his brother right now. I often talk about Nami proving her worth in the main series, and here for me she does it again. Rather die with them than marry someone like that. This dude got his own badass looking moment in the movie, and it really did look good, blocking the view of our captured heroes from that giant cannon. The animation on the start of that fight though! Let's just drop one here for all of the 5 or 6 times he's done this through the movie. 4 times with Nami, once with Zoro, and now here being corrected. When Luffy believes the young boy to have been taken out, given the windmill he was carrying turning up destroyed down there with Luffy, he so loses his mind like this. Also though, the destruction animation team very much still on shift towards the end of the movie. Almost the whole crew having a badass looking segment in the movie. This. Usopp actually being super useful here by climbing up to their ship and getting much needed items. Also though, him landing his first proper attack now that he's armed again is legit. I know it must sound weird, but seeing things from the series brings me joy. It makes it feel canon. I know it's not, but that's how it feels when I see his new demon blade from Logtown here. I see that their placement during this battle is just as good as it is during the main episodes. You know, this is the first time where it feels as though something canon might have been introduced. I always wondered how he can crack things. Maybe it is his shoes, but I don't think the main series told us that. Oh, now that attack totally deserves its own win. Look at the damage around them. I think that's maybe the first time Usopp has used feigned cowardice to draw someone into an attack that he could take advantage of. Zoro walking away from the movie with a total of 3 totally badass looking segments is about right, really. giving Nami a way to contribute and in a way win her own battle in the movie. In spite of Luffy being on the ropes, his attitude is really one of still being casual, plus those reactions are killing me. This moment is getting the movie its first 2 max wins. Between the animation, the destruction at the end there, a boy risking his life for the older brother, it's max wins all day. Oh! Luffy is getting heated! Luffy actually now managing to cause some damage to him and the entire area up there. Let's go! Luffy winning the battle in style, everything else, animation and music on point, are quite frankly ridiculously high quality of destruction animation effects, and they get another max wins. This kid's still being okay and learning a little trick here. The story's ending up being well crafted, the tune from the clock being the same as his own, found with him as a baby, he finds his actual parents via this, and we find out how they ended up having to leave him. As a set piece, that looks incredible! The destruction animation crew working overtime, are they not? Speaking purely from a canon standpoint, it's actually a clever way to wrap the movie, so those devil fruit powers, the weapons, and everyone else isn't seen again. I liked that. It actually allowed for him to be the kid he really is, rather than trying to be a man already at that age. Mine sounds silly because it's not canon, but that totally made me tear up, thinking he was on his own, trying to say he'll be better off now whilst crying, and then he turns up like this. That'll do it for this one, boys and gals. Remember, you can vote in filler content or movies on Patreon for $1, you can vote in everything for $4, and early access to vids for $5, and so on. Check it out below, and I'll see you next week. Darth Weirdo, Matthew Blansett, Mao Liao, The Element Taylor Awards, Christopher Willis, Draki, Fancy Turtle, Kepan, Minimasher, Marquez, Orkeeper, Steelers, The Epic Commander, Bird Without a Word, Brandon Creer, Brian Bayot, Cameron, Christopher Tarasa, Commander Cyrus, Doggos for Life, Dragonstorm 35, Emmanuel Gonzalez, Aaron Winters, Guru, I Am Here, Your Edvinson, Kevin Alston, Cumfroik, Carly Welp, Lisa Marie Tim, Luis Minito, Magnus, Nathan Burr, Nightly Winter, Peter Milligan, Ruby Rose, Sataka Yari, Zyonx 44, Sean, The 100s, Tiger Lily Warrior, Sumbito, Wiccan Faye, Ali 50, Brainless Ben, Cecilia, Cedric, Cloud Garden, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Devon, Iso, Garrett Vermish, Gibbs, Isel Caldera, Jason Davies, John, Jafford 6263, Calnock, Kevin Nelter, Kevink 102, Knuckle Duster, Chris Madden, KY158, Carl Jones, Laxor, Laxus, Liam Gogati, Lifty, Lionel Schultz, Marvin, Malcarius, Michael Lewis, Modiverum, Mudini, Mr. Firecool, Natsu Dragneel, Nick Monaco, Nick Pell, 9028, Oliver Smiley Reacts, Q Flash, Ryan DeVirus, Sentimento, Storm 970, TRS, The Danish Muggle, Tricky Nicky, Willyman.